Kroll.
Yes.
Counsel DeBon.
Yes.
Counsel Finn. Counsel LaFleur. Counsel Leeang.
Yes.
Counsel Calhoun.
No.
President Hughes.
Yes.
8 members for the gift. Thank you. Next gift. Going Paul and Jan O'Neill, gift $500, Purpose Dare Program.
Motion to accept the gift and send a letter of thanks.
Motion's been made by Council Kroll, seconded by Council Devon. Call the roll.
Counsel Kane.
Yes.
Counsel Crowe.
Yes.
Counsel DeBon.
Yes.
Counsel Finn.
Yes.
Counsel LaFleur. Counsel Leeang.
Yes.
Counsel Calhoun.
Yes.
President Hughes.
Yes.
8 members. Motion's passed. Another gift. Be it ordained the City Council accept the gift upon conditions attached in here and set forth. Paul and Jan O'Neill, $500, Purpose Crime Prevention.
Motion to accept the gift and send a thank you letter.
Motion by Council Kroll, seconded by Council Devon. The clerk will call the roll.
Counsel Kane.
Yes.
Counsel Crowe.
Yes.
Counsel DeBon.
Yes.
Counsel Finn.
Yes.
Counsel LaFleur. Counsel Leeang. Counsel
Yes.
Calhoun.
Yes.
President Hughes.
Yes.
This gift. Next one is also a gift. Be it ordained the City of Quincy accept the following gift upon conditions attached and herein set forth. Donor Ann Demoni, gift is $50 to the fire department.
Motion to accept the gift and send a thank you letter, please.
Motion made by Council Kroll, seconded by Council Devon.
Counsel Kane.
Yes.
Counsel Crowe.
Yes.
Counsel DeBon. Counsel Finn.
Yes.
Counsel LaFleur. Counsel Leeang.
Yes.
Counsel Calhoun.
Yes.
President Hughes.
Yes.
8 members, the gift is accepted. Another gift, be it ordained the city accept the following gift upon the conditions attached. Again, Ann Demoni, gift is $50, crime prevention.
Similar fashion, motion to accept the gift and send a thank you letter.
Motion has been made by Council Kroll, seconded by Council Devon. Clerk will call the roll.
Counsel Kane.
Yes.
Counsel Crowe. Counsel DeBon.
Yes.
Counsel Finn.
Yes.
Counsel Forrest. Counsel Yang. Counsel
Yes.
Calhoun. President Hughes. 8
Yes.
members. The gift is accepted. 2 more gifts. The next one. Be it ordained the city of Quincy accept this gift upon the conditions attached. Anastasios Kasakis, $100 air program.
Motion to accept the gift and send a thank you letter.
Motion's been made by Council Kroll, seconded by Council Devon. Mr. Clerk, will call the roll.
Counsel Kane.
Yes.
Counsel Crowe.
Yes.
Counsel DeBon. Counsel Finn.
Yes.
Counsel LaFleur.
Yes.
Counsel Yang.
Yes.
Counsel Calhoun. President Hughes.
Yes.
8 members, the gift is accepted. The last gift today. One, be it ordained that the city accept the following gift upon the conditions attached and herein set forth. Donor Anastasios Kapsakis, the amount of $100, and again, crime prevention.
Motion to accept the gift and
Send a
send
thank you letter.
by Council Kroll, seconded by Council Devon. Mr. Clerk, will call
Counsel
the roll.
Kane.
Yes.
Counsel Crowe.
Yes.
Counsel DeBon.
Yes.
Counsel Finn.
Yes.
Counsel LaFleur.
Yes.
Counsel Yang.
Yes.
Counsel Calhoun.
Yes.
President Hughes.
Yes.
Gifts accepted. Next one is number 25. It's a resolve from Council Calhoun relative to the special election for Ward 6 seat. I have in front of me, Bill 26.
Council Calhoun.
I withdraw the resolution.
Okay. Withdraw. Withdraw.
Next item.
Another.
Next item is discussion and vote, if necessary, to go into executive session relevant to the CMA litigation. Roll call, roll, Prosecutor.
Very well. I'll invite Solicitor Timmons up to, if I could, just give us a brief statement. We are not going to, unless somebody moves, I will be moving. Is there anybody who's moving to go into executive session for this particular item? All right. Great. So we will dispense with executive session and listen to this in the general meeting. And thank you, Solicitor Timmons, for sticking it out with us and staying until the end to give us a litigation update.
It's one way to characterize being in the podium. You know,
Thank you, and I do, I will say Council President Hughes called me earlier today to talk about the question of executive session. By default, it was on the agenda in that manner because it is related to litigation. However, in this particular instance, the fact of the matter is the litigation is included in the decision of the land court. And what I wish to do this evening is discuss with you the decision and then discuss with you, because this body is the permit granting authority, discuss with you the relative merits of filing an appeal in the matter and whether you might wish to do it.
Just one point of order.
Yes.
I just, and again, Jim, you know what I'm going to ask you with this too, but should we be doing this outside the context of the SPGA, or would it be necessary to recess from the city council and call an SPGA, or should we give a notice regarding this, especially from a grant authority?
Well,
relation to this, or is this something that you're really reporting back to the council?
yeah, it's an excellent point. There's a couple of ways to deal with it, because the thought I had is getting the discussion going forward, which we can do. The SPGA is not voting on the permit or not considering the permit. We'd be talking about the litigation. And you're correct about making that distinction, and that perhaps we should convene as an SPGA to take a final vote. But I do think it important to at least discuss the nature of the decision and what would be before you and the timing of what is before you. And we, the thought was to do it at the meeting this evening. But you make a very appropriate distinction, something we alluded to earlier about the difference between the permit granting authority and the city council. And the newer members may not be fully aware of the distinction, but you wear two hats. And it was the permit granting authority which took the vote here. But that's one of the discussions that I wish to have with you about the nature of the decision here. It was not the intention to stay all that long, but that is an important distinction. I'd just like to say that there was some discussion in the decision that I wanted to call to the SPGA's attention, because I thought I used the term disappointing when I was speaking to a newspaper reporter, because that's how I felt. I thought that the permit granting authority, the city councilors who sat in these seats, worked very earnestly on the matter, and that it was a very difficult matter to deal with. The decision at its core made a conclusion that I take strong issue with and will continue to take issue with, and I think it forms the genesis for consideration of appeal. However, I'll go a little further on that. The judge says on page 44 of his decision, for good reasons or bad, the city simply did not want an Asian American supermarket in this prime location. And he goes on to say, I need not and do not decide if this was racially discriminatory. I tend to think it was not, except in the sense that such a supermarket would draw a larger Asian community in Quincy and thus potentially affect its political, demographic, demographics and dynamic. That was a driver for the outcome in this case, was that the city did not want an Asian supermarket at that site. And consistently within the decision, the judge references the city. He merges the office of the mayor and Mayor Cope and other executive functions with the permit granting authority. And you clearly acted distinctly from the mayor's office and from several of the other consultants. There were some logistical issues that occurred over the course of the proceeding, like, for example, one of the peer review engineers, you may recall, those of you who were present, Ms. Christine Ketchus, who was an employee of Niche, came out and did field work, did a lot of the work, and testified at trial. She left Niche, went to a different engineering firm. Then she went on her honeymoon, and she was gone for the 2.5 or so week period before the trial occurred. For that reason, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her. We didn't think it was going to be worth prepping before her honeymoon. So I spent time with her on the day of her testimony, and she testified. And there's criticism in the case of her testimony and the fact that she only spent an hour preparing for trial. Well, she had gone to a different company. She did a lot of the field work, and I was quite surprised when I found that statement by the trial judge in the decision. I think some of what the judge did was he saw some things here that rightly or wrongly sent signals to him that I think caused him to make conclusions that I strongly disagree with. Not so much from a legal perspective, but he specifically said from the bench that he did not see any evidence of racial animus during the course of the trial. And that was the basis on which much of the challenge was raised in the trial, was animus toward this particular applicant. The testimony that was proffered at trial about this use, engaged in American supermarket, was that they sell everything fresh. And as a result, shoppers will go there 2 to 3 times a week. Unlike Stop and Shop or other markets of that nature like Hannaford or Stars, you're looking at the face of a Stop and Shop shopper who's eating food filled with preservatives. Things like peanut butter and bread that comes off of a shelf where it's all Nissen or whatever. The issue with C-Mart was because everything is fresh, people go back there 2 or 3 or 4 times a week. And once they develop a regular following, which they've successfully done, they tend to generate traffic because people are coming back there regularly. That was the discussion, to the extent there was any discussion about the particulars. And then the other criticism that was made of this body as permit granting authority was that didn't participate, didn't offer, didn't engage in mitigation discussions. Well, one of the big problems with this site, as you're all well aware, is that at Billings Road and Hancock, there's a fully actuated intersectional red light system. And then you go down and you cross the street that along Hancock that C-Mart is located on, or the building is located on, Hayward. That's got a pedestrian actuated light. And then about 200 yards to the south is the infrastructure that went in for Hannaford's. There's a red light there. There's red light systems already in play along Hancock that it's very difficult based on the Institute of Traffic Engineering standards. They want certain distances between actuated red lights or synchronized red lights that are on a system. So the discussion that we thought occurred and that we put forth at trial was that that was a constraint for this body and for the applicant in terms of creating mitigation along Hancock. You already had existing red lights and you couldn't add the type of system that Hannaford's had done 200 yards to the south. In addition, just to the west of the site is the MBTA train track, which completely bisects the city. So the problem is there were a number of issues raised in this decision that I think cast some of the decision-making of this body in a negative light, and the motivation for it more important. Now, I will tell you that since the decision has come down, I've had 2 discussions already with counsel for CMART that have been extremely collegial and affable. He has reached out